Hey everyone, happy to be here. Appreciate your time today. So my name is Sheena Patel. I'm a sales executive and I handle essentially business development for Edge Impulse. So next slide, please. So Edge Impulse is essentially we are the leading solutions provider of embedded machine learning. And what that really means is we've been talking a lot about edge computing. It's essentially the
So I
same
got
thing.
a haircut appointment at 1:30. I was going to go pick up your stuff.
Oh, so I think someone needs to go on mute. Yeah, so like I was saying, we are the leading provider of these solutions. And when we talk about embedded machine learning, we're really talking about bringing that intelligence from the cloud directly to the end devices. So think of anything from MCUs to microprocessors. You can even think of a mobile phone as the edge as well, or some sort of gateway. And so what we're doing is not trying to completely eliminate the cloud at all. We actually have a lot of customers that essentially are figuring out what makes sense to run on the cloud, what is a lot more computationally intensive, and what are the things that we can actually bring to the edge to do basic, to add in basic intelligence. And so, like I said, we provide solutions and we're basically built on top of a software as a service platform, which you can actually see an image of here. Our customers today pretty much span across industrial, automotive, consumer, and today I'm really excited to be here. We're going very heavy into government and DoD. We already have some traction in this area, and it's something that we really want to double down on next year. And to really just summarize what it is that we do, anywhere that there are edge devices that are collecting sensor, audio, vision data today, a lot of times that data just kind of gets lost, especially if there is not ready connectivity to be able to send that data up to the cloud and process it. And so our main goal is really to help customers to take advantage of that data, to create better products that have improved user experiences, can really help some of these product manufacturers monetize that data and build enhanced features. Next slide, please. And so I just wanted to show this slide. A lot of times people kind of wonder what are some of the specific use cases. And, this is not an encompassing list by any means. It's just meant to kind of get some creative juices flowing, give you guys an idea of some of the applications we're really starting to see and where we're starting to see the trends in this edge machine learning space. And so, I won't hit on every single one of these, but I'll just highlight a few. So the one that I wanted to talk about today is actually worker health monitoring. So this is a really big area we're starting to see a lot of. It's actually one of Edge Impulse's really strong suits. We work with some of the top wearables customers in the world already. And essentially you can think of it as adding more than just step counting or tracking how many calories are burned, right? It's going to the next level and actually taking some of this biometric data, some of this motion data, and being able to derive even deeper insights. And so we actually just completed a pilot project with a company called Slate Safety and sponsored through the DHS, where we were actually looking at firefighters. And today, firefighters, a lot of them actually get injured out in the field through overexertion and heat exhaustion. So we worked with this wearable company to basically take the data they were already collecting and develop an algorithm that would run directly on the hardware for heat exhaustion. So now when a firefighter or first responder is out in the field, it actually can notify them prior to them actually, collapsing or becoming over exerted. And so that's just kind of an example of some of the things that we're starting to see. And as you can imagine, this doesn't just only, it doesn't only, it's not only relevant for government or DoD, it's really across all industry. Think of factory workers and monitoring their health as well. Another area that we're really starting to see, environmental and gas sensing over here on the right-hand side, and really adding some more intelligence to your traditional sensors from an environmental perspective. So one of the use cases we recently worked on was for improving smoke detection and smoke detectors. One of the big problems that the customers in this space are actually facing is a lot of false positives when it comes to detecting when furniture or a part of a home is actually burning versus somebody's cooking or taking a shower. So we actually applied machine learning to this problem with the goal of actually running the algorithms directly on the smoke detectors themselves. And we were able to develop pretty accurate algorithms. So at the moment now, we're actually working with some of the top smoke detector manufacturers in the world around actually implementing machine learning for some of these problems. And so this just gives you a very high level idea, but across the board, we're seeing these applications on the commercial side, which is really where Edge Impulse started as a company. And we're starting to see it more and more on the DoD and government side as well. So a lot of overlap between some of these applications. The great news is we already have experience in a lot of them. And so we can really, work with customers across commercial and DoD and help accelerate the speed of how quickly we can validate and then develop these solutions.
30-second warning.
Yep, next slide. So here's our traction today. Like I said, we're really heavy already on the commercial side. Here are some of our customers. We obviously can't display every single logo, but these are just kind of giving you an idea of some of the areas that we're already playing in, the hearable space, the wearable space. And then we're also starting to really go heavy on smart factory, intelligent healthcare, and things like that. We actually have already secured a pretty decently sized government contract through In-Q-Tel. It's with a 3-letter agency, so we can't really disclose the logo, but this is an area that we're starting to see a lot of potential for. And so really, the call to action today will be anybody in this space, either a commercial enterprise or on the government defense side. If you're looking at embedded machine learning, please contact us, let us know. And then overall on the funding landscape, we actually just closed our Series B. That was a $34 million round led by Coatue. And so, that's really, that funding is meant to kind of accelerate the pace at which we can grow in this market and how, and some of the sectors we can start going into, including defense and government. Okay, next slide. And yeah, feel free to reach out. So if you're a company, if you're in government defense, if you're just exploring embedded machine learning and you think that there might be some value to looking at these solutions, please reach out. We also work really closely with our partners. So think of anyone who's a professional service provider or you're a system integrator, you're looking to add new capabilities to your offering already. We actually work pretty extensively with partners in this space and on the silicon provider side as well. So we're starting to see a lot more, neural network specific processor architectures, very specialized devices. And so a lot of our partners actually are working directly with us to enable their customers to develop these solutions that will run on, specific, either general purpose or more specific silicon. And so here's my email address. Feel free to contact me, reach out, and we'd love to have a conversation with you. Thank you.
Hey, Sheena, this is Reese Schroeder from Allstate. I see a bunch of companies every day talking about AI, machine learning.
Yep.
But, I don't always think about like what's embedded underneath. And so just a question for you. I understand what you do. Who are your like key competitors in this space?
Yeah, so what we actually see is a lot of customers today are trying the do-it-yourself route. And so what that essentially means is looking at a common ML training platform. Think of like a TensorFlow or PyTorch, which really requires a lot of data science and machine learning background. And so what we're actually seeing in a lot of customers we talk to who actually come to us is they started off with a data science team actually handling all of the ML. And then when they want to run it on the hardware itself, they basically throw it over the fence to a team of embedded engineers. Think of like electrical engineers who actually know nothing about data science or ML. And they're like, okay, fit this on a microcontroller now and make sure it still runs efficiently, it's low power, it doesn't take up too much memory. So that's actually what we see a lot of customers doing. What we've done is basically create an end-to-end pipeline that avoids all of these kind of miscommunications and issues that happen between an ML team and an embedded team that we see in a lot of our accounts today. So I'd say that's one of the biggest routes we actually see customers doing, like trying to just do it themselves and realizing that it's a lot bigger of an effort than they previously thought. So yeah, that would be my answer. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So,
Sorry. Yeah. Along the same line, have you done a comparison on the power consumption between your algorithm and others in the market?
Yeah, so one of the great things about our platform, and so I kind of alluded to this, we are the experts in this space, but we build on top of this platform, which is designed specifically for embedded deployments. And so as somebody is, either they can work with us directly and we'll help them really like utilize that platform to speed up their development, or there's an option they can just, if they have a really strong development team, they can just use the platform themselves. And in that platform, it actually provides things like, memory usage from a flash and RAM perspective. It also tells you about, this is the latency required for this algorithm to run given your specific hardware. And from that, you can actually determine power consumption. You can kind of estimate it just based on those numbers. And like I said, like we basically partner with all of the big silicon vendors in the market today, including TI, Nordic, Scilabs, NVIDIA. So we have all of their chip architectures designed into the platform so people can actually estimate all of these parameters as they're developing their algorithm.
So you already have traction with Homeland Security and IQT, right? You said?
Yeah, so we just completed a pilot project with the DHS around firefighter heat exhaustion. And then, yeah, like we do have an ongoing contract through In-Q-Tel.
Okay, right. Thanks.
Yeah.
my question is, hi, Sadi, trying to understand kind of your competitive edge, because these sort of companies on edge, these kind of mitigators of mostly to industrial and other kind of companies that don't have the specialty in modern deep learning. So kind of trying to understand, so what's special about your solution and not, you have TF Flight, you have like stuff and you have all the kind of the chip manufacturers, they also have these tools and they assist you. NVIDIA will be happy to assist you on their Jetson and everything. So kind of what's your kind of secret sauce that you can share?
Yeah, sure. So some of the big things that our customers really love, and I think it sets us apart from definitely like the do-it-yourself route. So the platform is pretty low to no code, which enables anybody to essentially come in and develop some of these algorithms. It usually required a data science or machine learning background. And not to say that this is not a tool that can be used by ML scientists. We definitely have a lot of other features built in around data ingestion, data management, and things like that, which the more data science people, those are the features they use. But if you think of like an electrical engineer or embedded engineer who writes firmware code, it's not an area that they're really an expert in. So I think the low to no code part is really appealing. Everything is transparent. We don't black box anything. So basically we provide a user interface, but then there's code that underlies every single aspect of that. And so, if you want to go and touch the code directly, you can do that. And at the end of the entire process, what we give you is a C++ or Linux library, depending on whatever build environment you're using. You can actually parse through that code. You can see exactly what different functions are happening from the signal processing or machine learning standpoint. So our goal is to not hide anything. And that's a fully licensed library to whoever, is using the platform. Whereas like there are some edge machine learning platforms out there, they kind of just tend to black box whatever solution they give. You just put data in and then you get an algorithm out. You have no idea what happened in between. So I would say the low to no code and transparency aspect are really appealing. And then the final thing I'll say is the flexible deployment. And so the idea is you develop an algorithm, you may not even know what hardware architecture you want to deploy to, or you want that flexibility. It's really simple in our platform. You just choose whatever silicon target, or even if you want to deploy to a mobile phone, you can do that. And essentially whatever algorithm you develop can then be deployed across kind of any end target hardware. So I'd say those are the three big things.
Okay.
Hello, this is John from Octave Ventures. Quick question on your pricing model. How are you guys doing the pricing model for the commercial customers and also for government customers?
Yeah, so those are a little bit different, just because with the government customers, we kind of have to understand what their specific needs are. So just to give you an idea on our government contract right now, we're actually kind of functioning we're not truly a prime, but we're functioning as one where we've subcontracted out parts of like hardware development because it's not really a focus area of ours. You know, firmware integration, things like that, we'll probably subcontract out. And then in some cases, we might bundle like solutions, packages, labor, things like that. On the enterprise side, it's more of a licensing model. And so I can definitely, if you're interested, more than happy to set up a call and kind of talk through that model with you. But at the end of the day, we are a SaaS platform. And so however we choose to bundle that for the government versus enterprise customers, it generally does kind of have that recurring revenue aspect.
Okay, great. Let's do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys.